Hey, it's Coach Maggie, Certified Health and Lifestyle Coach. And today I want to talk about the importance of good sleep. As we go into the fall, the change in season actually affects our sleep. And that's something that I actually didn't even know. But let's face it, the last couple weeks we've seen a huge difference in the amount of light. So, for example, in the evening, it's getting dark earlier. And of course, in the morning, it's staying dark longer. And that affects our sleep because our circadian rhythm is affected by light. So, I want to talk about 5 key areas that are so crucial to your health and your wellness that are affected because of your sleep. And there are things that you will say, okay, maybe that's why that's the way it is. So the first one is metabolism. First of all, our metabolism regulates so many things. And when we don't get the proper sleep that we need, it often, of course, causes us to overeat because it suppresses some of those hormones that say, stop, you've had enough. And so it just makes it very challenging for us. Often, when you don't sleep well, what do? You wake up in the middle of the night or the wee hours of the morning and you decide that you need a little snack to tide you over until you finally wake up for the day. And so it is so very important that you get proper sleep. Another thing is the immune system. Right now, where we're faced with, again, cold and flu season coming anyway, and then the potential for more of this COVID, yet worse, we need our immune system to be in tip top shape. And that's normal anyway, but now again, even more so. And again, it's affected by our sleep. Our immune system is our army, and we don't want to be at risk of being, catching every little thing that comes our way because our immune system is compromised. So, again, so very critical. The next one is energy. And again, haven't we had those mornings that we wake up and we literally drag ourselves out of bed? It was because of not enough good sleep. The same with your brain. It affects the brain. We wake up groggy. We wake up just like we can't quite get it together. We forget things. We leave things at home that we needed with us at work. The other thing, and this is the scary part, more and more accidents are being directly connected to a lack of sleep. Think of often, especially with long distance, for example, truck drivers or people on long trips. Often the people were tired. It might even be the middle of the day, but if they didn't get adequate sleep the night before, then it makes them more susceptible to dozing off, and then you have the potential of horrible accidents. I've seen studies that compare a lack of sleep to an abuse of alcohol, drinking under the influence of alcohol. That's pretty scary. So, sleep is so very critical. Often, a high rate of accidents in the home or on the job are also directly tied to a lack of sleep. And then the last one is mood. And haven't we heard people say, oh boy, Bob got up on the wrong side of the bed? You go into work and somebody's grumpy. Or maybe you're that grumpy one. Maybe your spouse, your kids. Lack of sleep. So again, these are key areas, but there's so many more. But these are ones that we can all definitely relate to. I've known people who have those Fitbits, and often they will comment that even though they thought they were getting good sleep, once they looked, they could see that their sleep was regularly interrupted 2, 3, 4, 5 times during the night. So it just shows just because you go to bed at a certain time and you don't realize it and then you wake up the next morning, you may not have actually had good quality sleep. Imagine taking your car to a car wash and you pay the $8, $10, $15, you put the money in and you pull in, and instead of spitting out the water to rinse your car, just little streams of water shoot out. And then the soap comes out. But again, there's not really a lot of soap. And then those big mittens come around to wash the car. But they're moving really slow, where normally they're spinning around your car, getting in all those nooks and crannies. But now it's just hit and miss. And then finally you see that it's the rinse cycle. But again, it's just squirting out, spitting water here and there. And then that extra that you paid for, that deep wax, there's hardly anything there. And then pretty soon the doors open, the light comes on and says, "Thank you very much, have a great day, come back soon." And you pull out furious because you didn't get what you paid for. Well, that's what's happening to our body when we don't get the adequate sleep that we need. We sleep for several reasons, but mainly it's a time to repair the body. It's a time for healing to take place, for rejuvenation, to restore, to detox. And when we don't get the sleep, it's like we've gone through and those things didn't happen. And then 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock comes along and we wake up, and no wonder we don't feel rejuvenated and vibrant and ready for the day. So it's time to start thinking, what do you need to do to improve your sleep? I have a Facebook group, Healthy Living Made Easy. There's going to be a link in the description. Consider joining that group. Over the whole next month, 31 days, we're going to dive into different areas. We're going to look at the dangers of too little sleep. We're going to talk about the things that disrupt sleep, the foods that disrupt sleep, as well as the foods that promote good sleep. And then the last several days, we'll look at ways to make your bedroom a sanctuary so that you can get that rejuvenating sleep that you've always wanted. One study that I read said that when children struggle with sleep young, they usually turn into adults that struggle with sleep. So this is definitely not something that we should just overlook. I think it's an area that is very, very underestimated, under-talked about, and it's one that we definitely need to tackle. A lot of the disease that's out there can directly be linked to not getting good sleep when the body needs to be detoxing, it needs to be repairing, and it needs to be getting ready for the day ahead. So, do you know someone who struggles with sleep? Please send them this video, and I'd love to know, do you struggle with sleep? I've always considered myself a late night owl, but in the last few years, I have seen what that did to my body and the toll it's taken. And so it isn't something that happens overnight, but we can train ourselves to become a morning person, to get up earlier. So anyway, I'd love to hear from you. Please leave me a comment. And again, what are some things that you're struggling with in the area of sleep? Can you relate to some of these things between the brain and mood and metabolism and energy? Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe so you don't miss any videos. Have a blessed week and take care. God bless.